Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us a little bit early for our 30th year anniversary and third annual Stand Up for Kids Gala. This opportunity and time will give you some background information about some of the amazing work we do here at Stand Up for Kids, and you'll hear from some of our staff members and supporters on some of the very critical work that we're doing. This first audio clip podcast is from Carlia, who is an outstanding staff member here at Stand Up for Kids. For the past few years, she has worked closely with a lot of our mentors and volunteers and other staff here to provide tremendous support for the homeless youth here in Orange County.
How come I don't see them? If I'm in LA and I go to Skid Row, or I go to Seattle, or I go to Chicago, or Houston. So there's many places around the country that I can go and I can see homeless, and I understand the need, and I understand why an organization is trying to help fix that issue. In Orange County, it's not easy to see homeless people. They're off the freeways. Sometimes they're generally not youth either that are typically seen. So, where are they? Where is the need?
This is a very good question. And unfortunately, just because we don't see them piled up in the corner, it doesn't mean that they don't exist. Because this is, like you said, an affluent neighborhood, right? But here, for example, you can panhandle $10 easily, because people have money around here. So reaching $10 is too easy. So what happens with $10? You can get a gym membership and you can take a shower. So now you're being resourceful, right? You don't stay on the same place all the time. Like, they don't let you just hang out here. You can't just be homeless in a corner in Orange County. The police are going to be involved, absolutely. So that eliminates that. That eliminates a whole bunch of people in a corner, right?
Yeah.
So then we do have a lot of nonprofits in Orange County that provide different type of support. So kids know to go to SOS in Costa Mesa to get free clothing. So they don't have to wash clothing. So they grab it, they go to the gym, take a shower and change, and they have a clean clothes change right there. They are very resourceful. They know they might crash in their cars. We have a lot of kids that just literally move their cars every night so that they can, they don't get caught. When we did the count, when we counted the homeless in our community, those kids didn't want to be, when we approached them, not all of them feel comfortable answering. More than an older person. I feel that the chronic homeless, the one that you think of, the pushing the cart, the old dude, right, or the old lady, talking to themselves. I feel that the youth don't want anybody to know that they are homeless, right?
Yeah,
so
shame.
Right. So they're not going to look dirty. And you've seen our youth. They look like my kids. It's, that's what happens when you're in an affluent community, that you have more opportunities to stay under the radar for longer.
But at the end of the day, you're still homeless. You're still relying on that $10 to get you that milkshake or that.
And guess what? If nobody's helping you and nobody teaches you how to adult, guess what? That's where you're going to be. So the work that we're doing right now with our 18 to 24 is so critical, because we are truly preventing the chronic homeless, because we're not just giving them food and telling them we love them. We're literally walking them through the steps to understand and learn how to adult. All those skills that are needed for us to truly be successful, whatever we consider success, right?
The fact that we're affluent, does mask the issue on some level, like you're speaking to. It also makes it really hard to find a place to rent a room for a reasonable cost. Affordable housing in Orange County is astronomical. Having a full-time job with a wife.
You need two people with a full-time job to be able to pay rent.
Yeah. So that affluent nature actually works against a lot of these kids in trying to get their life back on track. They literally.
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, Orange County has its rough areas, right? Like at the center in Anaheim, there's a lot of gang activity right around the center. At night, our kids share that they hear shots all the time. But that's up north, right?
Yeah. So I think that's another factor too, that people don't, they watch TV and they see shows that make Orange County look a certain way. And it has parts of Orange County that are like that, but it has parts that are completely the opposite of that too. Most people aren't driving through those neighborhoods to sightsee or go to the beach or whatever, but they do.
Go to Disney, something as big as Disney.
Yeah.
And what's on the outskirts, right?
Mm-hmm. If I'm listening to this right now and I'm driving on my car home from my job, and what can I do? I'm just a person. I have a good heart. I don't want kids to suffer. I want every kid to get supported. So what can I do to help this issue?
You can call us. It can be from a small donation to getting involved and doing more. The beautiful thing about the shift that we've had to make going virtual has opened a lot of opportunities for volunteers. And so that is something that is important for you to know, right? As a listener, you don't need to have $1,000. Oh, if you do, please go right ahead and donate it, and we'll make sure we use that properly for it to go to programming. But, every little helps.
Thank you, Carlia, for sharing some of the unique challenges that the homeless youth and young adults in Orange County face. As you can see, there's a lot of work to be done, and Carlia and StandUp for Kids have all been very busy, but we will need all of your support this evening. This next clip is brought to you by Brittany. I've actually worked closely with Brittany myself over the years and saw the amazing transformation she made in life through the support she received from StandUp for Kids.
My dad left when I was 5 years old. My parents split. He's a meth addict and he's been in and out of jail my whole life. My mom was a single mom working multiple jobs. I changed schools a lot. I think I went to, I've probably gone to like 11 different schools. I don't have too many memories of my dad except for him being violent and angry and coming home at random hours of the night. Me and my little brother kind of wondering what was going on. I started using drugs at about, 12 years old. I ended up becoming friends with, the bad kids in school or the drug addicts. I didn't play any sports or anything like that, so I didn't fit in with any other crowd, or at least that's how I felt. By 15, I was actively using heroin. I ended up homeless, living in my car, sleeping in Walmart parking lots. I got arrested for commercial burglary and possession of heroin. I was only 89 pounds and I had abscesses all over me. Besides the physical stuff, I was just so emotionally drained that I didn't even know who I was anymore. And finally, after like 2 weeks, I called my mom and I said, I'm ready to do whatever I need to do. My mentor has taught me how to be an adult, how to be a mother, how to be a wife. The best that I can put it is that StandUp for Kids is my family. Everything that a normal family would offer is what StandUp for Kids offers to me. If I hadn't found StandUp for Kids, I don't know if I would be dead or alive, but I would definitely still be using. I wouldn't have the leadership skills and the work ethic. I wouldn't know all that I know today and be able to do what I'm able to do today. No matter who you are or where you're from, you're always going to hit some kind of rough patch in your life, some kind of tough times, and I'm just grateful that StandUp for Kids was there to embrace me and help me and, save me from my rough times. To anyone and everyone who has ever supported StandUp for Kids in any way, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Brittany's tragic and touching story is unfortunately something too similar to all of the youth that we work with. But with the right support and resources, she was able to transition her life to the streets to a home full of health and happiness. I'm sure, like many of you at home, I myself too cannot fathom what it would be like to live even 24 hours on the streets. This next clip from our podcast is from Alex, who shares with us exactly what it means to be in survival mode.
Let's paint the picture for somebody too, kind of, in the moment. I am homeless. Where am I? Where do I sleep? Am I on the sidewalk? Am I in a park? Am I under a bridge? Kind of set the scene for somebody. And I have not been homeless, so I don't know. I want to understand the picture and try to see it as well as I can through your lens.
So I think one of the big issues with being homeless, or at least like I don't know if it was one of my big issues or something maybe that helped me in the long run. But you're constantly moving. You can't stay in one place, as I said before. So sometimes you're able to find somewhere to like lay and sort of like make your own home base, quote unquote. So like make an encampment, things like that, where you can stay for a while. I never had the ability to do that. I never had somewhere where I could make like a makeshift home, right? And make an encampment somewhere that I could stay long term. I never had that luxury. So I was constantly on the move whenever it was winter. And, believe it or not, Texas gets ice. Texas does get cold sometimes. I'd end up sleeping behind a building on a patio. And I remember we had one of like the worst ice storms that we had in years. And I remember just sleeping on just a patch of ice back on this front porch, on this little patio, behind an insurance building. And having those little corners definitely helps like keep heat in. But so where you're staying definitely changes from time to time. So depending on if it's cold, you're going to try and find like a small little corner to huddle into. Most of the time you're on the ground. You really don't have any other options but be on the ground. And then other times, let's say if it's raining, you're going to be under a bridge at times. I had issues though whenever I would stay under bridges. The police a lot of times would come and bother me, and so I'd end up trying to go somewhere else and find somewhere else to go. I didn't do a lot of sleeping in fields. It was mainly under bridges and behind buildings whenever I did find somewhere to go. What is it? Not carports, but the big concrete structures where you can, big concrete like parking lots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of times those are really nice places to go, because it's helping block wind. It also helps like insulate because of all the concrete around you. There's not like a big open area. Or there was one time I was able to find an abandoned house that I was able to stay in for a couple of weeks at a time, and that was great. Like I remember being so excited and being like, I have somewhere to go. Like I know I have somewhere to go. So I guess at one point I did have that luxury of a stable housing situation. So I think sometimes you're going to find these little places that you're going to be able to go for a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean like maybe 3 days. That's a long time. At least in my situation, being able to stay in the same place for 3 days, amazing. Instead of having to constantly just move. But I think while you're constantly moving, that also helps you out because then you're not too focused on your situation. You're just in survival mode. So then you don't get too hung up on, I guess, what's going on, really.
How did you find that house?
So I had been, I don't know if I want to call this guy a friend. But I had this guy who I used to use with a lot of times. And he basically used me for my money. And different other things that I'm not going to dive into. But he had this place where he used to like all the time to go and shoot up or use drugs. And he used to stay behind the house on the patio. And so I always asked him, I was like, why are you sitting out here on the patio? And he basically was just like, because I passed out before I'm able to get inside. I was like, okay. So I went ahead, and it's basically just a place my friend used to like to go to use, and so I'm going there.
So you open the door and you walk inside, and there's obvious that nobody's lived there in a while.
Yeah, so it was under renovation. And so there was no windows, there was not really any flooring, there was no walls. It was just sort of whenever you're doing, like, it's basically just the framework of a house.
Okay.
And so there was some plywood on the floor, but other places there was no flooring at all. Things like that. But it did lock, right? It did lock, which was nice.
Which is huge, right?
It's huge because I felt so much safer being in there. Just the fact that I can lock a door. Granted, it wasn't my house, and it's weird thinking of the fact that you can lock someone else's house. But it's like it used to be a crack house, actually. And it got raided at one point, and so I assume that's why no one had ever gone back to that house. But basically just the framework of a house, missing flooring, didn't have walls, anything like that. But I was able to lock it and like sleep down at night.
What caused you to have to leave that place then?
So after a while, like I would notice other people's needles, like around the house. And it wasn't people's needles that I knew, because the different needles have different types. And so I would know, like, if it was my friends, or I would know if it was like a different random person. So it turns out that other people had been going there either when I wasn't there or while I was there, and I just didn't know it. And so that obviously makes you kind of uneasy. But I think the reason I left ultimately was I was able to go to my grandma's for a little bit. And then I had some some following events where I overdosed twice in less than 24 hours. And then I went directly to treatment.
And that story ends up leading you to California ultimately.
Welcome back, everybody. I just wanted to share with you that we're going to be sharing one more video with you this evening before we start our formal program at 7 o'clock. And that video is brought to you by Kia Motors. And they've started a huge initiative that we'll talk to you about a little bit at 7 o'clock. But this next story is from the NFL Raiders running back, Josh Jacobs, and about his experience of youth homelessness.
For a long time, we went to places we never unpacked. My whole life was in that vehicle.
Growing up in Tulsa, it was a lot of nights where I didn't know what I was going to eat or where I was going to be sleeping that night. I don't regret going through anything that I went through, because it made me who I am. I remember it's a lot of nights where I used to go to sleep and I would wonder, like, do he ever sleep? Like, I never seen him sleep.
Certain times I was more fearful. It depends where I chose to park. Living in our family vehicle, I try to find a spot like this with a light, and we will back in and we'll sit there and then be gone before day. I said, I never imagined we'll be in this place. And just to sit and look at my kids and watch them sleep. And I'm thinking like, okay, what do I do next?
At first, Marty, he proud. He was trying to fix it and do it himself. He didn't let anybody know. He tried to make sure he kept everything normal.
I would stay up, wash their stuff by hand while they sleep, making sure they check their homework. And then I'll go to bed around 12, 1, and get up about 5:36 so I could get them to their school. And it's just, that's how we lived for a while.
Even when I was in the car, I felt like it was home. Like it never really registered to me that we was like homeless or anything like that.
Josh, I think he knew, but he blocked it out because he wants to be there for his dad. His dad was his main priority, and that's where that drive and determination came from.
I mean, we're in that type of community where, we struggle a lot. I don't think that he was going to be one of those who come to the counselor and tell the counselor, I can't study today because I didn't have a place to sleep last night.
It's hard telling the kid, hey man, it's gonna get better. And there's times I'm questioning like, okay, did I take a wrong turn?
I don't know how to explain it. He was always like my superhero growing up. Kind of felt like he was invincible.
I used to say to myself, okay, you're at Jacobs. Let's do this. It was weird to dream. I was in a stadium. All I could see was a blue sky. And I heard, touchdown, Joshua Cordell Jacobs. And I stood straight up. And I said, his name's going to be Joshua Cordell Jacobs. That's good. I said, it's a football name, ain't it? It's a good name. This is where it all began. His third grade year, Josh played his first game here. I didn't think about football until Skip's the one that actually said, does he want to play football? At the time, I couldn't pay for nothing either. So he said, listen, man, just bring him out here. We'll work out everything else. I said, do you want to play football? He was like, yeah.
Josh has had that good balance, that little wide base run where he was always on balance.
Josh is just so natural with this. Like, I don't want to say he was born to do it, but I might be saying he was born to play football.
To watch him play as a junior high school kid, you knew that he was special.
He was always putting extra work. Nobody else was doing that. The ultimate goal was to be somebody special, and to elevate the community around us.
Life is full of decisions. You have choices to make. Every decision that you make could change your life forever.
The draft was one of the coolest experiences I've ever imagined. But to see him play his first game and he scored, he leaps over that dude and I'm jumping up and everybody, and the whole side realized who I was and started, jumping on me.
As soon as I got drafted, the first thing that came to my mind wasn't like it wasn't like a relief to me. It was more like, all right, now I gotta really work.
I started reflecting that God put this kid on that platform, and it was humbling to me. I got to see this manifest.
I always tell myself if I give it everything I have and I fail or I don't reach the goal that I felt like I should have, then I'm good with it, because I know at the end of the day I can't look back and say what if.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Nishant Kumar, and I am a StandUp for Kids Voluntary Advisory Board member. I would like to officially welcome you to tonight's 30th year anniversary and third annual gala. Our mission for the past 30 years has been to end the cycle of youth homelessness. My journey with StandUp for Kids first began 10 years ago in a professional capacity by providing psychiatric and addiction support and services to some of the youth in our program. I became so inspired by the organization, its volunteers, and the youth we served that I decided to join the advisory board in 2012. We were a small but very mighty group of 4 individuals at the time, but since then, we have more than tripled in size to an amazing group of professionals and leaders. I would like to take a moment to not only just thank all of you at home who've dedicated this next hour to our program, but to our amazing individual supporters and corporate sponsors and supporters. We will be acknowledging all of you throughout tonight's program. I also wanted to acknowledge the amazing hard work that our gala committee has put forth in bringing you tonight's wonderful program. Tonight, you will hear from some other supporters, members, staff, as well as personal testimony from some of the youth that have gone through the program here at StandUp for Kids. This next hour that you have dedicated to StandUp for Kids is going to go on to help countless individuals. There will be a portion of the program, a fund and need portion, that will allow you to financially contribute directly to StandUp for Kids. This contribution will help us get more kids off the street and move them from a place of crisis to self-sufficiency. Being supported primarily by volunteers, I am very proud to say that 95 cents of every dollar donated to StandUp for Kids goes directly to the youth that we are helping. The tragedy of being homeless is that it is not a choice, nor is it something that is limited to low-income cities and neighborhoods. It's happening here, in our own cities and our own backyards. From Santa Ana to Orange to Huntington Beach, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, or Irvine, just to name a few. These youth are hiding alongside freeways and sleeping under bridges, tunnels, and parks, hungry and alone, with nowhere to go. They find themselves in these situations often due to very chaotic homes, financial stressors, addiction, and a childhood filled with trauma and abuse. The youth we aim to help are often faced with more challenges on the streets: violence, lack of safety, addiction, and even sex trafficking. By providing these individuals with the appropriate resources and support and mentors, we're able to move them to a place of independence and contributing members of society. As you watch and listen to our program this evening, I would like to challenge each and every one of you at home to just imagine your own child, niece, nephew, or grandchild being homeless, hungry, and alone. I know for myself, I couldn't imagine my 4-year-old daughter growing up not knowing where she would sleep, where she would get her next meal, or how she would fight off all the dangers and threats that she would be faced with on the streets. The thousands of homeless youth and young adults in Orange County, they are someone's child. They are someone's grandchild. They are someone's niece or nephew. They may not be one of ours, but they certainly deserve and need all of the love and support that each and every one of you has to offer. It's especially meaningful that you're joining us tonight. It's a less than ideal setup and arrangement than our previous years and previous galas, but it's been a huge reminder of how important our mission is. 2020 has been challenging in numerous ways for all of us, but it's been especially challenging for the 31,000 homeless youth and young adults. Tonight, they need all of our support. During these trying times due to coronavirus, StandUp for Kids had to unfortunately be unable to utilize our outreach centers. We had to adapt just like everybody else. We had to shift our model from providing mentoring, tutoring, support via phone and video. what we found is that we were actually able to reach out to a lot more youth and reach out to a lot more cities than we were before. We're stronger than before, but we need to remain strong. We need that momentum, and the only way to remain strong is with all of our support and all of our contribution and all of you at home. We will now begin our program with a series of videos brought to you by Kia Motors. They've started an initiative called Accelerate the Good, and they've put a tremendous amount of effort, money, and resources into fighting youth homelessness.
How do you shelter in place when your home is the sidewalk? Or wash your hands for 20 seconds when there's no soap or running water? Right now, it's even tougher for America's homeless youth. So we're giving another $1 million to help keep them safe. Because we're all in this together, and everyone deserves a fighting chance. Introducing Kia's Accelerate the Good program.
Hello, I'm Russell Wager from Kia Motors America. We are proud supporters of StandUp for Kids and the work they are doing to end youth homelessness. Kia as a company and as part of our Accelerate the Good program are helping those most directly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The StandUp for Kids national organization's mission to end youth homelessness and its direct support to this vulnerable population were a perfect match for Kia to support the communities we live and work in. On behalf of everyone at Kia Motors America and our over 750 dealer partners, we thank everyone who supports homeless youth. We are proud to be partners of StandUp for Kids.
Sometimes I wonder what I'd tell my younger self if I ever saw him. I'd tell him, Josh, it's gonna be hard growing up homeless. But you gotta believe in yourself. Be tougher than the world around you. In that field, that's your proving ground. Push yourself to be someone. And I promise someday, you will.
It's amazing to see the growing awareness around homelessness, but specifically youth homelessness. Corporations like Kia Motors can obviously make a tremendous impact, but so can each of us as individuals, and so can each of you. We will now hear from Marquis. He's actually one of the youth who went through our program, and we'll hear from him about how we were able to support him and help him turn his life around.
Hi, my name is Marquis Bowen. I've been with StandUp for Kids for about 4 years. I would say before I met StandUp for Kids, I got kicked to the streets. My insurance gave up on me and I was homeless, sleeping under a bridge, not knowing if I'm gonna get a next meal, not knowing where I'm gonna sleep, if I'm gonna be safe, and it was rough. I would say about 3 weeks, I went on to be sleeping under a bridge, taking showers at the beach, not having any family members out here to help me out or anybody. So I had to, do it on my own. And I didn't have a blanket. I didn't have no water. I didn't have nothing. I just really had to start from the bottom. And being homeless is really rough, sleeping under a bridge, not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, not knowing if you're going to be safe, not knowing if you ever are going to make it out of the situation. And that's what I had to face every night, just praying that I get out of the situation, having people walk by you while you're sleeping, afraid to ask for help because of how you look, because you might not smell that good, because you've been sleeping on the streets. It was really rough. So I got in contact with StandUp for Kids and Justine, and, talking to her just changed my outlook on life. And it started to look good at a point, and I had to attend these Tuesday meetings. Met some beautiful people, amazing people. Right when I walked through the door, Justine, I had a long conversation with her, and she actually wanted to help me. Like Stand Up for Kids wanted to help me. Every mentor I met, every person I met, it was like genuine love. And going to those meetings every Tuesday, they had food there, they had bus passes, they had action, like ways to get a job, build a resume. I never built a resume, so it was pretty nice to have a mentor help me and guide me through my life. So I was pretty, shocked by like how this program helped youth and people get off the streets and turn their whole life around. Because if you're coming where I'm coming from, we don't get too many chances. So I was beyond blessed, and going to that meeting every Tuesday, being able just to get mentored, end up getting jobs, end up getting housing. They gave me food, gave me a better life, and I would say, looking back on everything, I'm happy to be a part of a program that actually gives back and doesn't want nothing back. And it's so amazing that they genuinely care. They genuinely love people and they try to help. They're making a change in this world. And even now, I have a beautiful little daughter. She's 10 months old. I'm a better father today. I'm a happier person. I just got an apartment. They helped me with an apartment. I got furniture coming Tuesday. They got me a bed. They got me all type of like supplies to put in my apartment. Man, it's amazing, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for Stand Up for Kids and everything they like put me through, and just changing my outlook on life. So now I'm a mentor and I get to help and I get to give back. So it's always a blessing to see the work and then where you come from, and then to see it develop into something different is a awesome experience. And I'm happy to be a part of Stand Up for Kids. And I would say from the bottom of my heart, I'm thankful, and I love you guys, and thank you for changing my life.
Thank you, Marquis, for sharing your personal struggles of living on the streets and how Stand Up for Kids gave you a sense of hope and safety. Every one of us can help individuals like Marquis by either contributing directly or even becoming a volunteer or a mentor. We will now be hearing from Dylan from what he describes as the fear and darkness through his journey in homelessness.
Good evening, everyone. I know these have been dire times, so I want to thank you all for taking part in today's gala for Stand Up for Kids. Your participation in this event today shows that no matter how hard times can be, the best of humanity still prevails. And this shows that people can still care for others while most would be thinking of themselves through these difficult times. My name is Dylan Oskin, and this evening I will be sharing my story with you to discuss where my life was just a few short years ago, and to also talk about what it took for me to overcome the obstacles of homelessness and how you can help other children overcome these challenges as well. My journey of homelessness really began when I was 5. The moment my mother and my two other siblings and I landed in Texas, having just moved from Germany. My first memories of the United States go back to our time spent at the Good Shepherd's Mission, which was a shelter for homeless people in Huntsville, Texas. My family and I spent about 2 years in Texas, where my mother remarried to my now stepfather. And during our time in Texas, we were homeless for the majority of the time until my stepfather put us up in a rundown trailer. It would be an understatement to say we just left Texas because of family problems we were having. But these problems were a big reason why my childhood was spent in much fear and darkness. Upon our arrival to California in 2007, we moved in with my step-uncle. From this point up until my mother kicked me out at 15, we were constantly homeless, moving around from different family members' homes to motels, to shelters, to even sleeping in our car on a few occasions. To put in perspective how many times we moved, I attended 7 different elementary schools and 6 different middle schools. Something I would never want for any child to experience is that really made the social and academic parts of school really hard to get used to, as we were always adjusting to a new school with new environments. At one point, we were at a motel where Alexandra Pelosi filmed a documentary my family and I were featured in called Homeless, the Motel Kids of Orange County on HBO, where you can see what life was like for me living at a motel when I was young. Being homeless was the worst. We always had to ration the amount of food we ate. For breakfast, if we wanted a bowl of cereal, it got to a point where my parents would get angry if we put even just a little bit more of cereal than they allowed for us to have because we ate through the cereal and drank through the milk too fast. What else could my parents expect from 4 growing children, which turned to 5 after my oldest brother joined us during some time? For lunch, most of the time, we could only have a bologna and cheese sandwich, where even the amount of condiments we added were rationed as well as the amount of chips we poured on our plate, which were rationed as well. We even had to ask to get something to drink because we went through the water too fast as well. A lot of the time, we got our food from donations, where on several occasions we ate food that gave us all severe food poisoning. My clothes came from donations as well, where oftentimes I would find myself going to school wearing clothes where my jacket was bigger than the shorts I was wearing, which made it look like I wasn't even wearing pants at all. My shoes always had holes in them, and I would have to wait my turn before my mom got me shoes because my other siblings needed shoes as well. Kids in elementary and middle school are ruthless, and I was the subject of really intense bullying at school because of the way that I dress, something I had no control over. I'm really driving into detail here to describe to you exactly what a child's journey through homelessness looks like because it is no joke. And these specific issues were just caused from the lack of no money or support. But what you will also find common with a lot of homeless families are terrible and unhealthy family dynamics where most often psychological, emotional, and physical abuse takes place. Take my family, for example. Not only did we have problems caused by a lack of money, but we had problems that were caused as well because my mother suffered, and even worse still today, from severe bipolar disorder with who knows what other kinds of mental health issues, along with my stepfather, who had and still has uncontrollable anger management issues today. I experienced the worst kinds of severe, and I mean really severe, psychological, emotional, and physical abuse and trauma, which turned my childhood into anyone's worst nightmare. A childhood I am still recovering from today, 5 years later. After my mom kicked me out at 15, I spent several years moving around from different friends' places until, with the help of several nonprofits, I was able to move into my own one-bedroom apartment where I lived for junior and senior year of high school. After 1 year had passed in my apartment, the funding I had from a nonprofit, which was only promised for 1 year, expired. Around this time is when I came into contact with StandUp for Kids, where I first met Ms. Linda Wilkie, who helped connect me with the StandUp for Kids organization. StandUp for Kids not only contributed funds for me to stay in my apartment until I graduated high school and left for college, but they provided me with a mentor as well, Ms. Denise, who mentored me until I left for college. I was just about to graduate high school, and worrying about how I was going to get my rent paid was a very big worry of mine, which StandUp for Kids in part alleviated for me. But what I appreciated the most was the mentorship, having somebody check up on me to make sure I had everything I needed emotionally and physically. I eventually graduated high school with a 4.4 GPA and got into UCLA on a full ride scholarship, where I'm currently attending as a rising second-year political science major. My journey with StandUp for Kids did not end there as well, as I eventually joined the advocacy committee led by Michael Olson, where I now work on advocating for StandUp for Kids. I shared my story with you this evening, not because I wanted you to feel sorry for me, but because I want you to feel sorry for the millions of children who are going through these same exact experiences right here, right now. I can tell you what those kids are feeling because I felt those same exact emotions as well. This begs the question, how did I make it out? It took a lot of people, mentorship, and a lot of support, but I eventually did it. Mentorship would have to be the biggest reason I was able to find success in my life, where going to UCLA would not have been imaginable without the support I was able to rely on from mentorship all throughout high school. StandUp for Kids' specialty is providing mentorship for homeless youth, and that mentorship is absolutely critical in determining how a kid who is undergoing poverty will turn out. Just as we are all here today thinking about others during such troubling times, it takes more than just thoughts to get things done. It takes more than just thoughts to provide mentorship to the homeless youth who needs it the most. What can get this action underway is through your generous donations to Stand Up for Kids, which is on the front lines fighting poverty where it matters the most, with our children. Take my words and my experiences as proof that mentorship is absolutely critical in ensuring the success of homeless youth, and it won't be possible without your help. Thank you all for participating in this gala this evening, and I truly hope you have been inspired and motivated by my story to not only think, but to act. I want to thank everybody who has been generously helping Stand Up for Kids and who continue to help Stand Up for Kids continue their mission as well. I'm wishing you all the best, and please stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Thank you, Dylan. What an amazing and special story. And it just shows the power of this amazing organization that I'm a part of. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight. My name's Shadi Schaefer, and I'm a voluntary board member for Stand Up for Kids. I've been with this organization, I'm proud to share, for over 10 years now. And I can't begin to tell you how special of an organization this is, getting a youth out and off the streets, one youth at a time. So I'm here for the fund and need part. Before I start that section, I want to make sure to thank Dr. Kumar for an amazing evening so far, Kia Motors for your support, Marquis and everyone else that has shared their story, Brittany, and all of you out there for being here with us tonight. So I want to start the 5,000 donation for fund and need. And that helps take 3 youth off the streets and into stable housing for 3 months, while they enroll and prepare and complete our Journey to Self-Sufficiency program. In 2019, this program kept 85% of all youth stably housed and self-sufficient for more than a year. I'm proud to share that 95 cents of every dollar donated to the Orange County chapter goes to our kids. If you know anything about charities out there, that is an amazing feature of our charity. So we want to open it up to you guys and see who's out there that is going to open up your pocketbooks, write those checks, and donate to fund a youth in need. As you know, now more than ever with COVID, we're dealing with some really challenging times. And as Dr. Kumar mentioned earlier, being on the streets is even more challenging now. So we're hoping that you guys will pull together and donate to our cause. One of the things I wanted to share with you is that over the 10 years that I've been a board member, I've been extremely proud to see firsthand some of the stories of our youth and how amazing their journeys have been. It could be just a simple gesture of one of our volunteers helping someone get off the streets and getting them into our self-sufficiency program. So a little bit on that. Our program actually has 5 stages. The first stage starts with basic needs, just getting them that basic care. Maybe it's shelter or food, getting them off the streets and just getting them into a support system. Phase 2 is employment readiness, helping them with their resume, getting them prepared. It could be as basic as hygiene, getting a haircut, getting a fresh suit or outfit for those interviews. Stage 3 is them staying employed, getting a job and staying employed. And we have given them their support all throughout. So one of the ways, by the way, that you could pledge is text or leave a comment in the chat. And our team is there waiting to get your donations. So stage 4 of our self-sufficiency program is actually financial awareness. So what I find amazing about Stand Up for Kids is it's not just getting the youth off the streets, but giving them the tools to become successful and become self-sufficient. That is, to me, what is so amazing about this organization. And then ultimately going into phase or stage 5 of our program, and that's complete independence. The goal is that we get them to a point where they do not need Stand Up for Kids anymore. But for many of you out there, what I'm really proud to share is I see a lot of alumni that have come through our program actually come back and volunteer to give back to other homeless youth that need that support and just need that motivation to know that there's people out there that are here to support them. I personally was absolutely astonished when I found out that we have here in Orange County over 30,000 homeless youth. I could not believe it. I don't feel that Orange County is necessarily a community where it would have that large number of homeless youth. And so I was extremely surprised and shocked. And I thought, what better organization than to give my time to than Stand Up for Kids Orange County? So I actually started out helping some of the youth with some of the criminal issues that they had. I'm a trust attorney here in Orange County. And back in the day, I used to help a lot of the juveniles that went through our program to get off the streets and also help them through their perhaps criminal issues. They would be locked into the court system. And so we were there to sort of help them clean that up, get situated with the courts so that they can continue on to get jobs, maybe go back to school and just make their way to self-sufficiency. And it was an extremely rewarding time in my work with Stand Up for Kids. So this is wonderful. So I am so proud to share, everyone, that we've got a donation of $5,000 from Rocky Masani and Carolyn Zahner. So I actually know these amazing individuals. They are volunteer. I'm so excited about the $5,000. They are volunteer board members, and they have given a pledge of $5,000 tonight for a fund in need. Thank you so much, ladies. Your dollar is going to help get 3 youth off the street and into our program of self-sufficiency. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How exciting. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say at this point. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that being a part of this organization has been so meaningful to me and so many other volunteers. One of the things I always love to mention is that sometimes just writing a check or donating isn't necessarily the only way to give to our organization. You can give volunteer time. You can become a mentor. Maybe you've got a certain talent or a certain trade that you can offer a youth. For example, social media marketing, SEO. Perhaps you're really good at resume building. Maybe you're an accountant at home and want to give a couple of hours to teach a youth how to be financially aware. This is just one of the many ways you out there can actually give back to our organization. So just curious, before I move on to the next level, I want to make sure if anyone's out there that is willing to donate like Rocky and Carolyn did at the 5,000 level. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes and see if there's anyone in the audience that's giving us the donations. Sorry, I'm kind of new at this whole chat thing. Much better at the live gala, but you know what? We rise to the occasion. So I told Dr. Kumar earlier that he really set the bar high in presenting so amazingly tonight. All right. So if there's no one at the 5,000 level, I think we're going to go next to our 3,000 donation level. And $3,000 takes 2 youth off the streets into stable housing for 3 months while they enroll, prepare, and complete our journey to self-sufficiency program. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of different ways in which this money helps provide support and care to the youth. Anywhere from, again, getting them just basic hygiene. Sometimes they need maybe some mental health assistance. Maybe some of the kids coming off the street have some perhaps drug issues and they need some rehab. That's another way Stand Up for Kids Orange County helps. And so we put them through these programs and make sure we assess their needs so that we can meet them at that level and give them that support so that it can translate into their success at the end of the program. Another thing that we've been doing a lot lately is making sure some of these youth have access to internet or a computer. These are some basic things that our youth out there that are on the streets might not have access to. And so it affects their ability to perhaps stay in contact with their community, their family, if they have extended family, or to help apply for jobs, or maybe stay in school or go back to school. So as you heard earlier, Dylan shared his amazing story about, I think he said something about 4.5 GPA, and he's got a scholarship now at one of our universities here in California. And I think that is amazing. Congratulations, Dylan. All right. So we've got Ted and Kat Quinn who have donated at the $3,000 level. Thank you so much, Ted and Kat. I've learned recently that Ted is a new board member, a voluntary board member for StandUp for Kids Orange County. And Ted, I cannot wait to meet you at the next board meeting. Thank you so much for not only supporting us tonight with your very gracious dollars and donations, but also taking an amazing step in volunteering your time as a board member. So again, for many of you out there listening, you can volunteer in many ways, not necessarily just by giving, but also by volunteering your time, being a board member, and donating backpacks and supplies and things for our youth. So I'm going to take a few minutes and see if I could look at the chat, see if there's any other donors out there. Let's see, at the $3,000 level. And a lot of times too, if you don't know how to go on to chat and donate that way, I know they're listing a number online that you can call or text and give us your pledge for your donations. So again, I just want to thank everyone tonight for being with us. I know your time is valuable, and it means so much to us to see all of you guys live with us here tonight. All right, so we're going to move on and go to the next level, which is the $1,000 level. This level provides a homeless youth an adult bed, towels, a refrigerator, and supplies for their new apartment. I know a lot of times that when the organization gets a youth off the street, they really come together to try to make sure that when they put that youth in housing, they're putting them in a really nice, warm, and safe environment that has all the basic needs that they need for them to not only feel safe and at home, but for them to be able to sustain themselves as they go through our self-sufficiency program. Anywhere from food and clothing and even a couch. So all this will go towards that youth and their home supplies and whatnot. So let's see if anyone's out there at the $1,000 level. And I'm excited again to be here tonight and to help do this fund and need portion of the event. One of the other things I wanted to mention is that a lot of times I think for many of you guys out there, I know for me, when I first learned about StandUp for Kids Orange County, I always thought, to be really honest, that, I thought, a lot of these youth, they got themselves there, or, they're maybe not wanting to work or get a job or stay in school. It's just an easy out. And I'm actually embarrassed to share that was a little bit of what my mindset was. However, as I learned more and more about the organization, and as I learned more about homelessness, I realized that there's so many levels to why a youth is homeless. I heard stories upon stories of youth running away from abusive homes, parents that were dealing with addiction, and just so many issues that our youth are faced with today. So I'm sorry I got excited. I think we got another amazing donor. So we've got Justine Palmore and Carlia Oldfather's family donated $1,000 to our fund a need. Thank you so much, ladies. All right, I have to spend a moment here. Many of you guys that are familiar with the organization know that Justine is the director of StandUp for Kids. Justine and Carlia both work and tirelessly work and volunteer their time to our organization. These two individuals have truly made what StandUp for Kids is today. I'm very proud to share. I've known Justine for over 10 years, and I've known Carlia for the past 3, 4, 5 years. And they are both just driving forces behind this organization. I cannot tell you how many times I've been humbled This is not a job. This is a calling to these women, and they go above and beyond. And tonight they've gone again above and beyond and donated $1,000. Thank you so much, ladies. And we got another donor, our beloved Dr. Anna McCarthy. Anna is a voluntary board member. I'm proud to know her. She's an amazing individual. Anna and her family actually do a lot to support Stand Up for Kids. And she actually also provides a lot of mental health counseling to our youth. And so, Anna, thank you so much for your donation. We so much appreciate you and all you do for our organization. Thanks so much for that $1,000 donation. Wow. I hope someone's tallying this up because these numbers are amazing. And I'm just so excited. Thank you guys so much for just reaching in and supporting us tonight and truly just helping our youth get off the street and really change their lives. As I mentioned earlier, you saw firsthand accounts from the youth that have gone through our program, and you see what an amazing impact the help of this organization has to each youth out there. Remember, each youth that we help get off the streets only makes us as a community stronger and better. So thank you guys so much for your support. All right, so I'm going to just wait a few minutes and see if we've got anyone. Oh, we do. We've got another $1,000 donation from Barb Olson and Red Wing Shoe. Thank you guys so much for your $1,000 donation. As I mentioned, that provides a youth with a bed to get them safely off the street and get them some basic needs like towel, hygiene, a refrigerator, and supplies for their new apartment. So thank you so much. As I mentioned earlier, Stand Up for Kids, 95 cents of every dollar goes to these youth, you guys. I am so proud as a board member to share that statistic because I know for a fact that is not always the case out there with some organizations, and I'm proud to share that with you guys tonight. Okay, so let's see if there's anyone else out there. Oh my goodness, we got another $1,000 warm donation from Joe Potenza. Joe, thank you so much for supporting us tonight and supporting a youth. Again, you can't imagine how much this means to those youth and all of us here at Stand Up for Kids Orange County. Okay, so we're going to keep moving on and go to the next level of support, assuming there's no other $1,000 donations. And by the way, don't let me stop you. Everybody knows I tend to go a little bit fast. And so if you still want to make a $5,000, $3,000, or $1,000 donation, please go ahead and leave it in our chat. And for any of you out there, if you want to make an even larger donation, please do. Don't let us stop you. All right. So now we're at the $500 level. And at the $500 level, a $500 donation provides 30 days of support for a young mother while she stabilizes and sets goals and a budget for herself and her family. All right. Well, we know Dr. Kumar earlier mentioned that he could not imagine his 4-year-old daughter on the streets. I could never imagine a mother on the streets with her children. As a mother myself, I cannot begin to imagine the challenges a mother with children faces on the streets out there, even here in Orange County. So make sure you guys dig deep and donate. Keep me busy here tonight, you guys. I'll stay here and talk to you guys all night long if I have to. Okay, so we're going to actually take a moment and thank Helen Kaminsky for the $1,000 donation she just made to our Fund a Need. Helen, thank you so much. This is so exciting, and I so appreciate you supporting us and really giving back to these youth. You know, giving is such a personal thing. And I know in this really crucial and sensitive time in our community, it just really just makes me feel super, super honored to be here and to be a part of your giving. So thank you so much, Helen, for your kind donation. So I'm going to just keep chatting away to see if there's any other $500 donations out there. And like Helen did, don't let my ask stop you. If you've got a higher amount you want to donate, please do. That'll just make this night even more special. By the way, I wanted to take a moment to just mention that if you guys aren't aware, we were doing podcasts earlier in our program. And so starting October 1st, Stand Up for Kids Orange County is going to be hosting podcasts. So make sure you look that up on our website and figure out how to join us on our podcast so you can learn more about our program and hopefully volunteer and give some way, however you like, to Stand Up for Kids Orange County. All right, we got another $500 donation from Stephanie Schneider. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for your support and your amazing donation. We so appreciate it. I want to again thank you all for being here tonight and for supporting us. I see everyone chatting there, and I wish I could read all the chats, but I'll definitely do so in a few minutes. So thank you guys so much. Oh my goodness. Trish Curry. Trish is a board member. If I'm not mentioning a board member, I apologize. But Trish, she's a voluntary board member for Stand Up for Kids. I've been working with her for a few years, and she just made a $1,000 donation to our Fund a Need cause. Thank you, Trish, so much. We appreciate you not only for volunteering on the board and giving year after year, but for your special donation tonight of $1,000. Thank you so much. All right. So just in case anyone's joining us, I want you to know that we're at the Fund a Need section of our event tonight. And right now we're at the $500 mark. So, oh, awesome. We got another $500 donation from Mike Sultan. Mike, thank you so much for your donation of $500. Just to remind you all, $500 for this event tonight provides 30 days of support for a young mother while she stabilizes and sets goals and a budget for herself and her family. So oftentimes, this is someone that's on the streets with kids, and Stand Up for Kids Orange County is getting them off the streets and helping them get off. All the support that they need to make sure that they can continue and self-sustain. Some of this stuff sort of gets to me sometimes, you guys, so I apologize. Okay, we got another donation of $500 from Joe and Karen Perricone. Thank you guys so much. So amazing of you to give $500 to our Fund a Need. Thank you, Joe and Karen. I so appreciate it. I'm just so excited again to be here and to get your donations. Keep them coming, you guys. Keep them coming. I'll stay here all night with you guys with all these amazing, generous donations you're giving us. This is so exciting. I was a little bit apprehensive of this forum that we were doing, but this is so awesome. So thank you guys. We can't wait next year to come back live to you at our gala, but this is so amazing. All right. I'm going to go to our last level of donation of $100 donation for our Fund a Need. $100 provides 20 nutritious meals for homeless children and young adults. Each week, we provide hundreds of meals for at-risk and homeless youth. Please help us feed the kids, you guys. Now more than ever, providing a basic need of just food to these youth is more important than ever. Again, as Dr. Kumar mentioned earlier, I cannot imagine one of my boys out on the street at age 13, 8, 17, whatever the age may be, any youth, and them not knowing where their next meal is going to be. That to me is just heart-wrenching. And I hope all of you are going to reach hard and donate. All right. So we got $130 from Gigi Abrams. Gigi, thank you so much. You just fed 20 nutritious meals to young children and youth. Thank you so much, Gigi. Anyone else out there, give us a $100 donation. Bring them coming. Let them come in. Oh my goodness. We've got $1,000 from Rob Schultz. Thank you so much. Keep it up. This is a special thanks to Dr. Kumar. Must be a friend of Dr. Kumar. So thank you so much, Rob, for your $1,000 generous donation. We appreciate you. Again, we appreciate you and everyone out there joining us this evening on chat, on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. This has just been an amazing evening. I'm so excited that I get to be a part of these amazing donations. And remember, as I mentioned earlier, you can volunteer your time as well. We got a $103 donation from Ritesh Kumar. Ritesh, thank you so much. We so appreciate your generous donation, and the kids who get those warm meals are going to thank you as well. Thank you, guys. $100 from Pinal Vora. Pinal, thank you so much for your generous $100 donation. We so appreciate it. And those kids that get those nutritional meals are absolutely going to appreciate it as well. I'm going to just kind of keep going. $100 from Kelly England. Kelly, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and all of us here at Stand Up for Kids. You guys, this is just so amazing. I'm hoping I'm not missing anyone out there, but keep those donations coming. And I'm just so excited again to be here tonight. This is just amazing. Thank you guys so much. So one of the things I just wanted to share with you last is that a lot of our alumni, these are youth that have gone through the program, actually come back and volunteer their time. And I remember there was a moving story of a youth that told me about how impactful Stand Up for Kids Orange County was. In fact, years later, after he graduated our program, he emailed me and shared that now he's married with children and has held a job for the last 5 years of his life. It was an amazing story. So $100 from Isabella McCarthy. Thank you, Isabella. Thank you so much for your generous donation. We appreciate it. And again, I know I keep thanking you all, but I'm just very, very honored to be here tonight and just be a part of this amazing Fun to Need event and virtual gala. Thank you guys. So I'm going to take a last call. If there's anyone else that wants to give $100, let us know. But otherwise, I thank you all so much for letting me be a part of this evening with you. And I'm going to ask Dr. Kumar to come join us. And thank you guys all for being there. Thank you again, everyone. Shadi Schaefer, volunteer board member for Stand Up for Kids. We hope to share the final number with you guys later. And thank you guys so much for being patient with me tonight. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. That was amazing. Shadi did a great job. And most importantly, all of you at home did a wonderful job. So thank you, as she mentioned, for your wonderful contributions and donations. That was really inspiring. So I myself am going to pledge $1,000 donation. So Shadi, you can put me down for that as well. To support our cause and again, help with supplies and get our youth off the streets. We are a little more than halfway through our program, but we do hope that you stay tuned and continue to watch as we have some amazing videos to share with you from additional sponsors and staff through Stand Up for Kids. This next video is from our executive director, Justine. She is the backbone of Stand Up for Kids Orange County. And she does amazing work as well as on the national level. And she is the one that inspired me to get involved with Stand Up for Kids 10 years ago.
Hi, my name's Justine Palmore, and I'm the Executive Director at Stand Up for Kids Orange County. And tonight we're celebrating our 30-year anniversary, as well as being in Orange County for 17 years. So what does that mean? We're a national nonprofit, and we've been around for 30 years. And our Orange County chapter, who I lead and have been leading for the last almost 15 years, has been here in the county providing homeless and at-risk youth prevention programs and crisis intervention programs since 2003. And so I just wanted to welcome you all tonight. Thank you so much for your support. There are a lot of ways you can get involved. If you're a company, you can provide lunch or a life skill with our youth as a dinner event. You can give to an initiative, housing, after-school programming, in-school program, our Teen Moms programs. There are so many ways you can get involved. You could be a tutor. You could mentor. Just reach out and ask us how, and we'll connect you into something that will literally change your life. I've been here 14 years. I started as a volunteer. We had 3 volunteers when I started, and we raised about $25,000 the first year I was with the organization. Last year, we served over 400 youth. We provided housing to almost 100 youth. We have over 130 volunteers on our team and 6 staff members. So we've grown significantly, and it's only because of people like you that continue to walk alongside of us and walk with these kids into a better, stable life. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what we've been doing in 2020 thanks to your support. We're all in the middle of this pandemic, something the likes we've never seen before in our lives, and it's literally uncertain. It's unnerving for all of us. You know, we're homeschooling our own kids, and we're trying to work full time. So we understand this has been difficult for all of us. So I just want to recognize that right now, and say to you that our kids have no one. So just imagine for a moment how these kids who are homeless or a family that is homeless is managing when we have all the tools we need, right? And it's extra difficult for us to do it. So this year for 2020, we've made some really, really significant moves and expanded services. We have had so many opportunities, like starting our We Deliver program in response to COVID-19. Our kids were being laid off from jobs, colleges closed, kids became homeless. When they had nowhere to go, were asked to move off of campus. And so in response to that, we created this We Deliver program. We are feeding families, we're feeding kids and young adults on a weekly basis with fresh vegetables, solid meats, milk, and dairy. And it's because of people like you that give on a consistent basis, right? Our volunteers support us. They're the backbone of everything that we do, because we're only 6 staff members, and to serve 400 people, you literally need an army. We also are the first rapid rehousing provider in the county that specifically focuses on transition age youth. And so we're also an access point for them in the coordinated entry system. So beginning in July, we became the first provider in the county that to provide rapid rehousing. And the first city was in Anaheim, and since then we are now in Irvine, and we are in Garden Grove as well. And so it's because of the support we receive from our community that we're able to do these things, and we're anticipating being able to house a lot more kids this year and get them from crisis to stability. We've also reached into our Santa Ana community this year, and we started 2 in-school programs, one with a teen moms population, and we're helping with basic necessities and teen mothers with parenting skills and life skills that they need to be successful and to keep them in school so that they can graduate and get their education. We're also working with the Santa Ana School District in a school with high truancies. And so the goal in that school is as well to get the kids motivated, engaged, so that they stay in school, prepare them for life, and to graduate. So it's been a year, but it's been a year. And so we're really proud. I'm proud to brag on my staff. We are 6 people and 100 and something volunteers that are making an impact along with you. So as I close, I just want to challenge you with 3 things. I would ask that if you have the means to give, that you give generously. And if you don't, volunteering with us can change a kid's life. Literally 2 hours a week makes a major difference in a youth's life. And if you really want to change the systems and the infrastructure of the way services are provided in the county, in the nation, in the state, join our advocacy team. Those are 3 great ways that you can get involved, and it doesn't take a major commitment, and you definitely see results and the impact in the community. Thank you, and have a great night.
So you have now heard firsthand from Justine about the amazing work that StandUp for Kids has been doing here in Orange County. As she mentioned, I too want to challenge you to give, and to give graciously, to help support us to get these youth off the streets of Orange County. And speaking of giving and giving graciously, these donations continue to come in. Shadi herself has pledged $500, and Shalu herself, who's also an advisory board member, has pledged $500. So thank you to both of you. And again, thank you to everyone at home. I would like to now introduce two amazing sponsors that you're going to be hearing from directly. One is Isaiah Henry from Seabreeze Management and Neil Shareshtek from Walmart, who share the same passion and drive that we do with StandUp for Kids in fighting youth homelessness.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Henry. I'm the CEO and owner of Seabreeze Management Company. Seabreeze is a homeowners association and commercial owners association management company. We manage master plan communities, high-rise buildings, active adult communities throughout California, Nevada, and Idaho. We are extremely excited to partner with StandUp for Kids. Personally, it's been a journey of my own life. I was raised by a single mom. I had many mentors in my life that helped me get to where I am right now. So organizations like StandUp for Kids are extremely critical to our society and our communities. And so for us, looking at partnering, there was really no other organization that was a perfect fit for not only the size of Seabreeze, but where we are going as an organization. Seabreeze Management Company is, I believe, an organization that has community and giving back at kind of the core of who we are. You know, we manage homeowners associations in communities where a lot of these youth live and come from. And so for us, it's important to give back into those communities. We decided that as an organization, we wanted to identify how should we best give back, whether it be giving back into the environment or giving back towards some type of medical program. And so we did a survey throughout the organization, and 75% of the people who responded said that they wanted to support youth and homelessness. And so we then sent out a charity committee to look at organizations, and we found StandUp for Kids. And what we loved about the organization was really it was a perfect match to where we were as a company. We're a growing organization. We currently have 500 employees with 7 regional offices throughout California. And we were looking for an organization that we could support that was in all of those communities in which we currently had employees that lived and worked. And StandUp for Kids was that perfect fit for us. We're super excited about this partnership. StandUp for Kids continues to do some fantastic things throughout the community. We're looking forward to our employees being actively involved in changing people's lives. Hopefully this event will bring in more individuals to participate to help continue to move forward the mission of StandUp for Kids in bringing youth off the streets.
Good evening. My name is Neil Sareshte, and I'm here to represent Walmart today. On behalf of all of our associates in Orange County and Walmart, we want to thank StandUp for Kids for doing the tremendous work that they're doing to make a difference in our community. We believe at Walmart that giving back to our community is a core part of who we are. We help people save money, and we help people live better. Well, this is the live better part of it. For years now at Walmart, we have done many volunteer activities in the counties and the cities that we live in order to give back to the communities. StandUp for Kids is one that fell into our lap about a year ago. Given the big problem of homelessness in Orange County, you folks are doing a terrific job to help support these young adults who are really in need of turning their life around. We're proud to be a sponsor of this year's gala and really proud to be able to contribute to the great work that the organization is doing. Personally, as I have volunteered with the organization over the last year, I've seen big differences being made by very small gestures on the part of the volunteers. In one specific example, I remember having a conversation with one of these young adults who didn't feel their voice counted for anything and didn't think their voice mattered. And through discussion with this individual, I feel like I had made a difference in the way he was perceiving things to be around him. At the end of the day, it's all about just helping somebody make a difference. So I've seen firsthand the greater work that the organization is doing, and we're just proud to be able to be a part of it, very small part, as I know there are many that work tirelessly to try to help these young adults turn their life around. So thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you for allowing Walmart to be a part of it.
Thank you, Isaiah and Neil and Seabreeze Management and Walmart for your enthusiasm and support and all of the work that you're putting in to help this organization and help us get the youth off the streets. And thank you again to Kia Motors and for all of you for still staying tuned in to our program this evening and for your donations. They're still coming in. We really appreciate it. We're still seeing the donations being collected. And we're still seeing the chat very active. So thank you again, everybody. We would like to take some time out to now acknowledge some of our other gold and silver and individual and corporate sponsors that have been helping Stand Up for Kids and also helping tonight's gala specifically. Seabreeze Management Company and Walmart. DBT Center of Orange County, Umpqua Bank, Beach Inside Recovery, Brenda and Jim King, Trish Corey, Kim and John Severini, and Dr. Anna McCarthy as silver sponsors. Our bronze and event sponsors are Tony Ronan Real Estate, CAZ Designs, Carolyn Zahner, Mike Semeno, Advanced Litho Printing and Bindery, Joanne Florence, Emily Fuentes, Stephanie Schneider. So this now concludes our program for the evening. And I would like to sincerely thank each and every one of you again at home for dedicating this last hour to learning about Stand Up for Kids, our mission, the work we do, the importance of the work we do, and as well as the impact that we have on all of the youth we serve. With your support tonight, we will continue to be able to offer services and only be able to get stronger and stronger and have a positive impact on the homeless youth in Orange County for the next 30 years. I wish each and every one of you and your loved ones a beautiful night. Thank you very much.